Stay off his streets and grow the fuck up, okay?
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm so glad you pulled that one. But I'm Russ, before we get there.
I'm Jared.
Oh, man. Okay, so here we are. What?
Did we talk about this last time? We talked about friend of the pod, Ethan Suplee. Is it pronounced Suplee? Suplee?
I think it's
every time we do this.
I think it's Suplee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, now we've mentioned him twice, so he's a friend of the pod. So
right, exactly. Right, so. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck you if you want to be on the podcast.
So here we are. We're back with our full breakdown of Walk of Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we did the trailer trash, and we had concerns of what this movie was going to be.
Not unfounded.
No. 2014.
Not that long ago.
I say it was like, 1975. I was like, no. 20.
No. Oh my God.
So before we get into the break, do you want to recap? Give us the summary, the log line of what this is?
Sure. A robust log line, which I like.
Yeah, mouthful.
A reporter's dream of becoming a news anchor is compromised after a one-night stand leaves her stranded in downtown LA without a phone, car, ID, or money, and only 8 hours to make it to the most important job interview of her life.
Not wrong.
That is the plot of the movie.
That's pretty much it. So,
yep, summed it up.
We're good here. So expectations. I don't even remember what we said for the. Do you remember? I can remember.
No, I usually only half remember. This is the downside of since we started recording Trailer Trash like days before the actual episode.
Yeah, and then not listening to it, or
and then not reminding ourselves what we said. I think we both thought that it was going to. I think we both tried to make it better than it was. Like I think I was doing something aspirational, like I usually do, of like, I hope it turns into a fun jaunt. It did not. I'm disappointed. I'm more disappointed than I thought I would be.
Yeah, I think we thought that she was going to learn a lesson from the her journey, which she kind of does. Yeah, a little bit.
No,
not really.
Well,
right?
I guess kind of,
right? Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were talking about doing this movie or another movie, the Clapper, which we'll probably do in a future one. Yeah. And like that movie, I was like, oh no, I actually might enjoy that one. So let's not do that. Let's do this one, which looks even worse. But even secretly, I was kind of like, oh, well, this one doesn't look that bad. It's got Elizabeth Banks, like we talked about in Trailer Trash. Yeah. It's got a good cast. Yeah. I thought it could have been at least entertaining. It was not.
Yeah, there was like a couple funny moments. I will say it's not the worst movie we've done.
It's down there for me though. It's just like a bottom. Yeah, this is a bottom tier for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it. I mean, it's an hour and a half. It kind of floated through, and I don't know. It wasn't. Well, I didn't think it was that bad.
So many things happened, but it was so boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it felt like a chore. I felt like a chore the whole time I was watching it. It didn't float. It didn't float for me.
Yeah.
This is when I actually checked the time a few times and I was like, 40 minutes left. Okay.
Almost there. Yeah.
I was like, it must be almost done. It wasn't.
I guess there was more of like, there was glimmers of hope, and there were some moments that were, I like the Bill Burr and, our Suplee guy, our buddy there, like those moments I thought were pretty funny. And,
I had a couple laughs.
Yeah. And like the Pookie I thought was hilarious.
Pookie was good. And
then other than that,
left a lot to be desired. Some of the stuff that, I don't know. And there was too much cringe, I think, too. Like this movie, I mean, like we made a joke about a minute ago, like 2014 feels like forever.
Yeah.
This movie made me feel icky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're like, I don't know. Like, there's like some jokes and they were just like, okay, but they just weren't funny though. It's like, I think one thing to do a joke like that is, making fun of and/or stereotypes and stuff like this. Like, sure, but make sure it's funny. Like,
exactly.
I'm okay with them, but make sure they're funny.
I can't wait until you tell me about the writers on this one because I don't.
Just one person. Can't wait. Yeah. And other thing we should call out. So in the trailer, there was a big thing about time. Remember the time overlays, like Saturday, 11:46 a.m. That's a non-factor in the movie until the very end when they actually show us a clock counting down.
Yes, and that's.
But they didn't play with that at all. Which
the clock is stupid but different.
Yeah, it's a classic. Like, oh, we need to make this tense. Let's just show a clock counting down in the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Like,
When in doubt, show a clock.
Schlock, I say.
All right, so quick info. So this was written and directed by one man, Stephen Brill.
Who's that?
So Stephen Brill has done such gems as
Oh no.
The Mighty Ducks.
What?
D2 The Mighty Ducks. Heavyweights, D3 The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
And Little Nicky.
My language.
And Little Nicky, among a couple of things. And he's also was a writer for The Mighty Ducks, The Game Changers. So he's a Mighty Ducks guy. He's the Mighty Ducks guy.
Huh.
He wrote those. So I'm sorry. So he wrote those, and then he directed and wrote Little Nicky. He directed Mr. Deeds. So we got a Adam Sandler guy here.
Yeah, you're right.
Movie 43. Gross. Big Adam Sandler guy though.
Hubie Halloween.
Oh no.
Did you end up watching that?
No.
Oh man, it's rough. I forced Thais to watch it. She was so angry. Because I love Kevin James. I was like, I gotta watch Kevin James.
Is that gonna be our Halloween movie?
Oh god, I'm not watching it again. That is one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen. Well,
oh my god.
Well, maybe we should. Yeah, maybe we do that.
Maybe we do. Yeah, that's future. That's future pain. We'll worry about that then.
Yeah.
So,
but Mighty Ducks, that's wild.
Big Mighty Ducks guy, 92, 94.
Little Nicky totally tracks. Like I'm like, oh, Little Nicky. I like Little Nicky, but it's also offensive in a very the year 2000 way.
I couldn't stand Adam Sandler's voice in that movie. It drove me nuts.
That's the point. It's so funny.
It's so obnoxious.
Good bit.
Good bit for 2 hours, an hour and a
half. But yeah, I can see where like it doesn't like I don't think he did much in between Little Nicky and this, and I think it shows because like this. A lot of the jokes here feel like 2000 jokes.
You're right. So like 2000 Little Nicky came out. That was the last thing he wrote, and then this in 2014. So 14 years later, he writes this.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, everything's the same as it was 14 years ago, right?
Yeah,
we're like, that's pre 9/11, bro.
Yeah, like what? So long story short, Stephen Brill is the one to blame for this.
Got it. And wait, show me a picture of Stephen Brill, please.
Sure.
I need to visualize them. Yep. Okay. That tracks.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep. And there's gonna be another little fun thing coming up here too. All right, so actors who's in this,
the whitest guy of all time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh no.
Yep. So actors who's in this. So I just picked like the main players. There's like a lot of characters in here, but we got Elizabeth Banks who plays Megan Miles. She's the news anchor there. James Marsden who plays Gordon, the love interest. Gillian Jacobs, she plays the friend Rose. Sarah Wright plays D Nice, the other friend. Kevin Nealon as Chopper Steve, who's got quite a few moments in it. I didn't get into like all the news guys, like the Dan.
I was just saying, you included Chopper Steve, but not Dan. Dan is definitely more of a main character.
He is, but I don't know. Chopper Steve had more funnier moments, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Kevin Nealon's more. Yeah.
Actually, I would say Chopper Steve is more important because he ends up kind of saving the day at the end.
Well, spoilies. Okay.
And there's a lot of secondary characters, but we can call them out as we go. And then this is a fun one. Stephen Brill, our writer director, was the male blooper lawyer in the opening.
God damn it.
Yep.
You hate to see it.
Production budget, box office, revenue stuff. So what do you got?
Wait a second. Was Stephen Brill the one at the end of like the blooper reel there?
Yes.
Now it's funnier. And we watched that. Thais watched like the first 5 minutes of the movie and she left. And she was like, is that Zach Braff? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't catch it, was it? But that's funnier that it's him.
Yeah. That's funny.
Poor Zach Braff.
Poor Zach Braff. Oh, indie darling there. Okay, so production budget, box office revenue. So worldwide, this movie made $8.1 million. $8 million. Yeah, $8 million worldwide.
What? How? Why?
International, $8 million. And domestic, it made $59,000.
I mean, that's like, not quite Fanatic territory because it's still 16 Fanatics, but
that's pretty close though. That's pretty close.
It's one of the closest we've got, I think.
Yeah, that's brutal, right? But made $8 million and on a budget of $15 million.
Oofa doofa.
Yeah,
as they say in the biz. You got to pull at least 4,000 Fanatics to recoup that. So
yeah, not happening.
No,
not happening. Okay. So that's it. That's a quick info.
Nice.
Anything else you'd like to know?
Nope. You covered it all.
Okay. How do we pitch me, motherfucker?
Okay. All right. It's that time again.
Getting better. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this time around. That energizing.
Yeah, I'm fired up. It's a beautiful day.
So this movie is obviously, it's like very obviously actually After Hours meets Chaos Walking.
Wow.
So doing a little plug for our old episodes, like sometimes we like to do here. Go listen to Chaos Walking, listeners, if you have not. I think that was a good one. Tom Holland joint.
Yeah. Daisy Ridley.
Yeah. Can't beat it. Well,
you can.
Anyway. So After Hours, you were telling me you haven't seen this one.
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, I feel like I've been on a big '80s kick the last few movies. So
yeah, you definitely have.
Scorsese joint, and it is actually the same movie. So like actually the same movie.
I have seen this movie.
Okay,
so long ago, but yes,
I remember.
Wow. No. Yeah.
So like it's about a guy who is like just like an office guy who leaves work and he's like going to get into some unlikely shenanigans for the night, and then proceeds to get into a bunch of misadventures, like loses his cab fare and like it's actually the same movie.
Yep. John Hurd, classic. That's the 80s. Yeah. Cheech and Chong are in there. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
You'll love to see it.
Yep.
Griffin Dunn, I think this is pretty much all he ever did, but
okay. All right. Bronson Pinchot. So anyway, that's you need him in there too.
Right. So that's kind of a lazy one for me. They are actually the same movie. Which is fair. And they also even they kind of end the same. I like the ending of After Hours better. So the ending of our movie here, Walk of Shame, they listeners, spoilers. She ends up making it back to the news studio for her audition, and then does a thing. In After Hours, he literally so at the very end of the movie, he gets enrobed in plaster like a sculpture.
Oh my God. Yes.
And then somebody steals him because they think he's art and like stuff him in the back of a van. And then the van, he falls out of the back of the van, and the plaster around him breaks. And it turns out he's right back in front of his office building where he started as the sun is rising. And he goes to work.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So I think it's a funnier ending for sure. But anyway, they're the same movie. So meets Chaos Walking. This one I had to stretch a little bit.
Yep, can't wait.
So Chaos Walking, the title, Elizabeth Banks' character, right?
Yeah, Chaos Walking. Yeah. I'm into that. Okay.
It becomes a running joke in the movie, listeners, about how the woman in the yellow dress is having a crime spree around Los Angeles. Just everything and anything you could possibly get into trouble, she's doing it, sowing chaos wherever she walks because she's on her feet most of the time.
Yeah.
2, both movies are pretty anti-women, I feel. One, Chaos Walking. Tried to do some redemption there, but it doesn't come off.
No, didn't
very well.
No, doesn't work.
And they also both kind of have weird religious morality things. Like the news execs in Walk of Shame here are oh well, we can't be seen employing a person of ill repute. Is their whole thing, and that's a huge premise of Chaos Walking. Obviously, is the weird religious community thing. And lastly, both movies are more about the journey than the destination.
Yeah. That's where you learn your lessons, right?
Right. They're getting into a lot of shenanigans. I kind of wish we had Chaos Walking style thought bubbles for Elizabeth Banks for some of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's my pitch. What do you got?
I like that. That's good. That's fun. Okay. So I went with its Network meets Homeward Bound.
Not The Social Network.
Nope. Network, 1975, Sidney Lumet film, won a bunch of Oscars. The satire, it's pretty well known satire about the news and media and stuff like this. And there's a really famous speech at the end of it that he gives about the world and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm pulling that for 2 reasons. One, TV, blah, blah, news, and the main character on that, because it's a TV station that's a news network that's losing ratings, right? So they're going to shut down or something, right? And he says on air that he's going to commit suicide.
Oh, no.
kind of like Elizabeth Banks' character, she commits career suicide, which she thinks she's doing at the end. And she goes on a big speech at the end, much like the main character from Network. And he just kind of explodes and just kind of goes on this rant about news and the world and media, which she kind of does. But right.
Nice. Okay, sure.
Meets Homeward Bound. That seems pretty obvious, right? It's pretty straightforward. I got to give a shout out to Thais because she gave me this one. It was the exact movie I needed. It's all about the journey to getting home. And we all know and love Homeward Bound. So that seems pretty straightforward. It's her just trying to.
Chaos walking.
It's my chaos walking. So that's it. That's my pitch.
Nice.
Short and sweet. I
like it. Yeah. I think this is going to be a short and sweet episode. Listen,
you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat.
Yeah, I hate this movie. Nothing happened, and so we're going to gloss over a lot.
All right, fast facts. You want these? Do you want these fast facts? I'm going to call these terrible facts. Actually, these are not. These aren't good at all.
I have my hopes up.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Give me what do you got?
All right, the character Pookie, played by Alphonso McAuley, is a nod to Chris Rock's character Pookie from New Jack City. Some of the same lines were mentioned during the crack house scene.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, well,
that's
trivia.
Yeah, that one's not bad, actually.
Yeah, New Jack City. Haven't seen that in a darn time.
Yeah, me neither. As Megan is driving her car to the Mid-Wilshire tow yard there, you can briefly see her front personalized California license plate on her vehicle, and it is News Girl with a Z.
Not trivia. That's just part of the movie.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yep. You're going to love the rest of these. Elizabeth Banks' yellow dress is by New York fashion designer Yigal Azrael.
Oh, not Marc Jacobs, as is
or
stated in the movie.
Yeah, or Damian Marchetti, our fashion guy.
That's right. Damian will be crushed.
Yeah.
We're doing a fashion movie without him?
Yeah. Right? He should be here. When Skrilla, played by Lawrence, I think it's Gilliard, right? Gilliard Jr., sees Megan, Elizabeth Banks, for the first time, he says, "You're coming at me like a zombie." You're going to hate this one. Lawrence Gilliard Jr. also appeared in The Walking Dead.
Well,
that's more of like a, oh.
That's a stretch.
It's not trivia, but it's just kind of like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I don't actually hate that one. Okay. It depends on what he did in The Walking Dead. Was he a character that had zombies coming at him, or was he a zombie?
I'm guessing he had zombies coming at him. I don't know. I stopped watching The Walking Dead after season 1, so yikes. I
made it to season 3.
It was like 15. I mean, how many zombies can you come on.
Like 7?
Ugh. Enough. We don't need any more.
After the prison, I was like, boring.
Boring. Ugh, people and their feelings. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to save the next one for the very end, but I'll come back to it. So, Megan's local station, KZLA, was likely modeled after actual station KTLA in Los Angeles.
God, that's not true.
Shall I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
In season 4, episode 13, 2010 of 30 Rock. This is a great. We had 2 30 Rock connections here, right? Of 30 Rock. Jack Donaghy tells Elizabeth Banks' character to cancel her quote unquote walk of shame when leaving his home in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
This is the worst day of my life.
Yep. And then, ready for this one? Both Elizabeth Banks and James Marsden have played love interests for the main characters of 30 Rock. Banks for Alec Baldwin and Marsden for Tina Fey. That's your favorite. They happen to be in 2 movies thing.
Yeah. Oh, these A-list actors happen to be in 2 things that are the same.
Yeah.
I guess James Marsden's not really an A-list actor, is he? Come at me, James Marsden.
Fuck you if you want to be in the pod and explain that you are. Come on.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'm okay with James Marsden. He seems cool.
Yeah, if you can pitch us as to why you're an A-list.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. That's
one more.
I think that's
a good one.
Let's see. We're gonna get technical here. Speedometers sense the drive. This is exactly how it was written, by the way, from IMDb trivia. Speedometers sense the drive shaft and convert that RPM to velocity. If anything, the speed would appear, capitals, to increase, even though the actual speed of the car would lessen after the tires were punctured.
What?
That is crowdsourced trivia, ladies and gentlemen. That is what you get from the internet.
Was there a scene where tires get punctured? Oh, at the one where right at the
the tow yard. And they do a shot of like first they do a shot of the speedometer and
for fuck's sake. Why didn't you end with the good one?
I just want to do that
Thanks.
to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, because you hate me.
Not all the time.
I know. Only when I'm spilling beer on you.
Yep, only when you're spilling a beer on me, which is every time I see you in person. So there you go. That's it. That's all that info. So
great.
Should we get into this?
Yeah, might as well.
So we kick off with all of our production companies. Focus World, very slow animation, very slow. Yeah, Focus World, very slow animation coming in.
I liked it because it means I didn't have to pause.
Same with the Lakeshore Entertainment, which I've seen before, and I was like, oh, it's a kid jumping into a lake. I was like, it's kind of weird.
I like it. I said it was cool.
Okay. And then the last one, Sydney Kimmel Entertainment. So
right, Jimmy Kimmel's husband.
Sydney Kimmel, we were going to do a little homework on this because we were making wild assumptions. Completely wrong from the trailer trash, but
yeah.
A little
Kimmel's from Old Money, so
yeah. Sydney Kimmel, he's just another billionaire, just another billionaire in the world, just trying to live his life.
Yeah, God bless the billionaires.
Yeah,
famously, the Bible says,
and he among other things, he started out he founded an apparel company, Jones Group. More than 4 decades ago. I've never heard of Jones Group. I'm sure maybe they. It's a bigger.
I've heard of Nine West.
Yeah. So it's a bigger, probably blanketed company. So yeah, it includes brands like Stuart Weitzman and Nine West, which I've heard of that.
Never heard of that. Never heard of the first one.
And then in 2014, interesting, when he put up money for this movie, he sold the company for $2.2 billion to a private equity firm, Sycamore Partners. Yeah.
So smart. So smart.
That's what you do, right? That's what you're supposed to do. He owns a production company after his own name, which is, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Which produced films Hell or High Water, great movie, and The Kite Runner, never saw it, heard of it.
Never seen either of them.
He's donated $110 million to Thomas Jefferson University in 2014. A lot of action 2014 and this movie.
Is that good?
I don't know.
Do we like Thomas Jefferson University?
Don't know. Not sure.
Okay.
Not even sure where it is.
Just billionaire facts. I like it.
Yeah, and then more billionaire facts. Like most billionaires over the last 3 years, he made even more millions.
Oh, sick. Good for him.
Yeah.
I was worried about him, actually.
Yeah, I was getting worried too. And in Forbes, he was number 386 in the Forbes 400 list. So
top 400. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's number.
He's 94 years old.
Yeah, crushing it.
What? Oh my God! Die already.
Education dropped out of Temple University. See ya. I don't.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Like us, he increased his billions in the last 2 or 3 years, while everyone else was,
That's right. ITMT has exponentially increased Russ and I's net worth. So
over the last 2 years, right? So we're up there.
I'm very rich in pins and stickers.
So close to the Forbes 400. It's like we're so close. We're right there.
Knock, knocking.
Yeah. We're like 1,342,000 away, but we are so close, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, we'll get there. So that's production companies. Opening credits. So we kick into
news music.
Yeah, news music, and then it's like they're fake bloopers.
Well, so are all of them fake? Because some of these I think I've seen. I think I've seen some of these, but I think they actually just recreated some of them and made them a little more ridiculous. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Maybe it's a recreation or something. The guy getting hit with this like the kid sledding down the hill, that was real, but they added something. Yes, I've seen that one. Yeah. I did. I think so. Like the end and like what he says before. I don't think it was the actual news clip, but. Huh. Okay. I think they just recreated some of them. But yeah, so, and also safe to say maybe the funniest part of the movie. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because some of these were also like not funny. Like it was like, oh, like I'm just sad. I'm cringing on that person's behalf because like what a shame for them to make a mistake like that. But like, yeah, they're like a good, because like, yeah, a lot of these, like I remember that as a kid, with the spankings one. Yep. Like, oh, did you get a lot of spankings as a kid? She's like, as a kid? No. He's like, what? What? And then we end the news bloopers with our hero here getting attacked by cats, a little foreshadowed for later on, right? Yeah, which that's not even that funny. Like if it happened, like all these real ones that happened that were kind of funny, and you could see on YouTube and stuff. Like this would not have made that, I don't think, because it's stupid. Like, woman attacked by cats. And we didn't get my favorite news blooper, the wine grape stomping.
Oh, that's I hate that one. I don't like that one. That's not
You hate
funny.
that one?
Yeah,
it's so funny.
That's not funny at all.
It's so funny. What are you talking about?
Sounds like she's dying. That's not funny. That's like I'd rather watch someone get attacked by cats than that one.
Interesting. Okay.
No, thank you.
This is why we're enemies.
So then we get 2 weeks later, right?
Coming up in the elevator.
2 weeks later. So yeah, coming in the elevator, and we're in. She's in the dressing room, right? Or getting ready to go on air, right? We're getting her normal life here.
But right before that, that's when Megan and Dan. This is when they introduced Dan.
Yeah, the producer.
Who's like, produce. That's what I was like. I couldn't until the very last scene of the movie. I had no idea who this person was.
I didn't either. I was just like, boss, news guy, news friend.
Right. But he's important, kind of. And they're talking about the cat thing specifically. They're like, no one's gonna remember that, right? Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, everything's fine. After the cat thing, she goes and meets with the network, and she's doing her interview here, which in my mind is going really poorly, but apparently is going swimmingly.
Yeah, I mean they basically set the network people up as just being idiots, right?
Yes. Yeah, I guess that's the point. But it's not funny.
No, it's not. But they're just kind of like, oh, this is great. Yeah, So she's pitching herself to them.
Yeah, exactly. This is like where we start getting our kind of offensive jokes of like, have you read Toni Morrison's Beloved? And she's like, of course. And then the
hesitantly says, of course.
Yeah. And the guy's like, good. What?
Yes.
God damn it.
Yep.
And then she talks about how there's no skeletons in her past, and they're like, no bones of any kind, right?
Yeah. Yikes.
I hate all this.
Then 2 weeks later, right?
Yes.
Does that happen now?
Yep. Then she's in the makeup chair, getting ready for her day.
And then she gets a call, right, that the network job went to. It was down to 2 people. It was her and another anchor, right?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And we basically get the quick.
Yeah. I was gonna say this is when we get introduced to everyone in her life.
Yes, yeah.
Her friend, which Rose? Yeah,
it's Rose.
What they called her? Really setting the scene here of opening Megan, you dirty hooker. Which, so sorry, listeners, we're probably gonna say hooker a few times and other possibly things that don't track as well. We're pro sex worker. Yeah, y'all are doing good work out there.
Yep. Okay.
I'm assuming half our listeners.
Great, man. You just lost all half of our listeners there. 50%.
Wait, the other half?
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck them. If they're not pro sex work like us, then get out of here, listeners.
So get out of here. So she gets a call from her rough around the edges, I guess, friend Rose.
Yeah.
We'll describe it that way. And then she gets a call from her mom, which that doesn't really.
Oh, fast fact. Thanks to Thais. When they're curling her hair, they show that like the stylist, they're doing her hair curling. They're doing it wrong. They're doing the wrong direction, and they're like touching the hot parts. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
But they're doing like very clearly not doing that.
I wonder if that was on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think so. But maybe I'm not giving Steve Brill enough credit.
Yeah, maybe he's maybe he's funny with the nuance there. Hey, Mighty Ducks, right? Nuance, a lot of nuance in D2 and Mighty Ducks.
And rough around the edges, Rose. Basically, like, we got to go out tonight, celebrate your big win. Like, don't be a cock block. Like, we got to go get laid. We got to go do shenanigans.
Yeah, get out there.
And then she tells her mom that she's not going to block the cock, and her mom is like, "What?"
And then that's hilarious. And scene. And it's showtime, right? So she's doing her job, news anchoring, right? Talking about Carpocalypse, which is going to be that'll come back later.
Yeah, a little story.
Yeah, a little foreshadowed for later. And we get intro to Kevin Nealon, Chopper Steve out there. Mm-hmm. Have a little back and forth funny. There. Yeah, I think he's kind of funny. Like, Chopper Steve, you texting? He's like, who's going to pull me over?
True. Yeah, that was funny. And then I love how when he thinks he's off, he's like, because she's like, "Oh, Chopper Steve, like, don't be, we're all good here." It's like, fucking loser. I should just crash this thing into the Hollywood side. They're like, "Wait, you're still alive."
Yeah. So
rough lines. We find out the largest meatball is in fact in Italy, which apparently is also top news at that point. Mm-hmm. And also later on, you can find out what simple household item might just be fatal.
It's all bullshit news, which she calls out later at the end of her big speech of reading stupid stuff, right?
Yep, exactly. And poor Chopper Steve is off his meds. We find out.
Yeah, poor guy. And then we're at Megan's home, right? Her friends Rose and Denise show up, right?
Knock, knock, knock.
Nothing bad ever happens in Brentwood.
Yeah. Which I think would have been a funnier joke if they just said that and didn't say, "Oh, I just remembered O.J. Simpson." No.
Yeah. Yeah. The explain it joke is
come to the conclusion.
Yeah. The smarter joke is to not say the
who are we to correct Steve Bro?
Hey, D1, D2, D3, you know?
That's right.
What do we have? So
nothing.
Just a microphone and a laptop.
130 episodes of this.
Yep. A million away from our top Forbes 400. All right. So then we get the kind of setting of her life. Her friends come in and she's kind of down, and her boyfriend had just broken up with her.
Yeah, her fiance.
Right. That's more important, right? Fiance.
Oliver shit's gone.
Yep.
And her friends are like, where'd all your stuff go? And she's like, Kyle went to the store and like took all the stuff to the store with him. And her Denise, the dumb friend, as we will come to learn, is like, well, when's he coming back? All right.
Okay.
I don't always appreciate a dumb friend character. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's like pretty standard, right? In any one of the kind of group comedies, you have the one dumb friend who's like that other side of humor, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it doesn't play, and this is for me didn't play.
Yeah. So Kyle, he went to the supermercado there, and then she gets a call. The world's crashing down on her, right? So then she gets a call from Dan, producer, right, telling her that they're going to go with Wendy Chan, right, for the
Wendy Chang,
job. Wendy Chang, sorry.
And this is when we start making our offensive jokes. I think they're like, well, Wendy Chang's it's just a diversity hire, blah blah blah, and then Megan's like, she's not even Asian, she's adopted and has red hair, and I'm like, what like 2014 wasn't that long ago. I don't understand.
And then we get a quick reminder that cats hate her and she should get a cat or something like that. Yeah. So just a reminder, a little foreshadow.
A foreshadow for the future and a foreshadow for the past.
Yes. And then we get a scene from the trailer about her. They're going to take her out and that she's wearing sweatpants, yada, yada. And
she's got to take out her anger on penises. And she says she doesn't do that.
Yeah. So a little back and forth, humor between the ladies.
Trade some slutty clothes with Denise and we're on our way.
We're kicking this journey off. So first stop, the club, right?
Yep.
Shot from the trailer, them doing shots. She does all three of the shots.
Yeah.
I think the lesson of this movie, if there's anything to take from it, is don't do shots.
No shots. Yeah. Fair enough. Also, it's too many. That's too many.
Yeah.
All at once.
Like, you're an adult. Come on. Not to do 3 shots. Come on.
Well, and then she takes a fourth because then she's like, well, I guess we need 3 more for my friends.
Fire it up. And then it's kind of like this. And then we get the tattoo guy who's also from the trailer. He comes right up to them and he's like, hey, ladies, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like a club montagey thing here, right? Where
important to note, James Marsden is the bartender.
Yeah.
Who gives them the shots. Like he's already over serving them.
Yes.
Which
comes back kind of later.
Yeah.
Ish. And it cuts into kind of like a club montagey thing where we get shots of them dancing, her puking, them hanging out with like the biker guys, right?
She pukes into an ice bucket at the bar and not only doesn't get kicked out, they serve her more drinks.
Yeah, that's not how that works, I don't think.
No, super problematic.
Not from where I'm from.
No, God, no. Yeah, this is unsafe. This is unsafe. And listeners, if you learn one thing from this podcast, drink responsibly.
As we sip our beers.
That's right.
Responsibly.
And
then she's like, after she pukes, she's like, I'm gonna go. She does the get lost joke, right? She gets up.
Got to find the bathroom. I thought she said.
And then she ends up out. She walks out the door, and she's on the fire escape, which
from the trailer.
All the stuff from the trailer. And then Marsden, he shows up because I guess he's on break or he's left his shift. He's done for the night. Like the place is closed. Like
we find out in a couple minutes it's 2 a.m. So maybe his shift ends at 2.
Oh yeah. It seemed like the place was still hopping. So I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's LA. Do you know what the rules are there?
No, there are no rules. I don't think out there.
Like I wonder if it's like a New York where it's like 4 a.m.
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it goes.
Not like here. Hear it in New England.
Yeah, everything shuts down at noon, midnight.
Yeah, well, 2 if you're lucky. If you can find one.
In my old age, everything shuts down at midnight.
Fair enough. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Only gremlins. So then she's stuck on the fire escape, and then this is where we get the extended scene from the trailer of Marsden showing up. He saves the day, kicks up the fire escape, gets the shoe out of the thing because she's stuck. That's why she's stuck, because her shoe is stuck in the grate.
They're doing a bit about how the shoe is a bomb kind that they're trying to defuse or something like that.
Yeah. That's what that was. Yeah.
It's not funny.
It's a meet cute, right? It's their meet cute moment, right?
Yeah.
He says something about a French exit. Is that a thing? The French exit?
No.
Okay.
No. And then She says she's from Texas. He loves Texas, I guess. It's stupid. It's not the meet cute stinks.
Yeah.
Also, she is obliterated.
Yes.
Like wildly inappropriate. Also,
she's giant, but he plays a good guy though, and he's like, hey, she's like, I'm going to drive home. He's like, you definitely should not be driving home, and then but still, yeah.
Well, and also there's another like offensive bit here in the in between when they're like doing the
drunk test.
The street meat, the drunk test, and he's like, "Oh, can you smell this meat from a vendor on the sidewalk?" And she's like, "Oh, it smells amazing." And he's like, "Ha, I got you. It's not even meat."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Come on, man, this is my living. Like, it's definitely meat." And I was like, "Yeah, what the hell? That guy's just trying to make a buck. Don't
shit on his meat."
Can't say it.
And then we learn a bit about Marsden here. He's a big author,
just like you, buddy.
Just like me. Yeah. Big writer
postmodern
of books.
Romantic fiction, just like you.
That's what I write. Yeah, it's coming. This year, my postmodern romantic fiction book that I wrote all by myself. And then this is just a scene from the trailer, right, where he's like, "You're not going to drive home," and then they go back and forth about where do you live, where do you live, right?
I love though when she asks him, she's like, "Oh, what does a postmodern romantic fiction writer do all day?" And he's like, "Find beauty and praise it." But he doesn't say it like it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to play like a joke.
Yeah,
and it's not funny.
Yeah, it's not Nicholas Sparks level, but it's supposed to be a joke, but it doesn't come off as,
"Oh, we're trying to take the piss out of Nicholas Sparks," but you're like, "No, you're perpetuating it."
Yeah.
You're doing it. You
don't perpetuate the Nicholas Sparks. Okay.
You're doing it worse.
Yeah. Don't keep that spark going, would you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we do end up at his place, as I like to call the Marsden. It's right.
That's right.
I came up with that all myself. I'm pretty excited about it.
You're good.
Thanks, man.
You should write a podcast.
Yeah. I write postmodern romantic fiction. Of course I can do stuff like this.
Words are your canvas.
So this is like all the stuff from the trailer just like stretched out a bit, right? So them drinking even games, more, playing drinking games.
Irresponsible.
I did, a little montagey. I did like that he's like playing his guitar and he's like, I only know 2 chords. Drunk eating pizza, talk about the little table thing, which the little table is always a fun joke, right? We play the 5-finger fillet game, but with his body. Yeah. And they do the tramp the pizza.
He puts on her dress and carries her away into the evening.
Yes. Into the Marsden.
Right. Deeper into the Marsden.
Deeper into the Marsden. Far.
Which, did we say his character's name's Gordon? We have, right?
Well, at the very beginning when I introduced him, but did we learn his name at all yet or no? I didn't hear it until like the very end, but they may have said it earlier.
They definitely said it earlier, but it doesn't matter. So then she wakes up in his bed, also seen from the trailer. She should be the most hungover of all time, or still very wasted, because it's like it's dark out.
Yes,
they left the bar at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
so it's like at most 3 hours later. Where they continue drinking and doing all those activities or whatever. Like, she's still hammered, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think she even says that later too. Another scene.
Well, she does it. Well, but she says it like jokingly. She's like, "Well, I must still be drunk." I'm like, "No, you are definitely still drunk." Like,
if we know anything about being irresponsible, she's definitely.
If I know one thing about stopping drinking at 2 a.m. and then continuing drinking after 2 a.m., it's that you are still drunk at 5 a.m.
It's just math. At that point, it's just math, right?
Just basic math.
Yeah. I mean, we're no mathologists, but that is definitely right.
But it's been a while since we said that.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring it back.
Yeah. Nice.
So she gets up, she's getting her shit together, kind of find all her stuff, right? She's looking for her phone, can't find it. She picks up his landline, calls it, and then checks her messages. She got 4 messages. She got one from Mom, one from Rose, whatever, and then she's got a call from Dan, the producer there, right?
Yeah.
And this is all from the trailer. Yeah.
More offensive jokes of like, Chang's out. They found some pics of her with another girl. Way too risky for the network. And you're like, oh right, we can't have lesbians in 2014, I guess either. Great. God damn it.
On the internet,
bisexual people. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, for fuck's sake. So she's out, and they're coming back later on tonight. They're gonna watch the newscast. You got to come in fresh. This is your big shot. The opportunity you've been waiting for your whole life.
She gets confronted by a cat.
Yep.
And she puts it in a box. And cats are psychos, and it does a little psycho move and escapes the box. She gets her dress, and cat chases her out, and she takes off, right? Grabs her car keys and is out the door. Car keys are
easily
important.
Could have cut the whole bit about the cat.
Yeah.
Like, it's we're supposed to be like, oh, remember she hates cats.
Yeah, great.
Sick. What a good plot point. Wow, character development. This is what character development looks like. I forgot.
So then we're outside the Marsden here, right? Outside, and she's kind of piecing together how she got there. She's like, oh, he drove my car, whatever, right? And she's like, I remember I fumbled some Tic Tacs. She spots the Tic Tacs and then realized she parked in a tow zone. And then, of course, the car is getting towed that moment. Yeah. So
thankfully, because again, she's still wasted and she should absolutely not be driving the car.
That's fair. Yeah, those are all good points. Good mentions there.
She's playing it sober. She's like trying to, like, the movie is trying to convince us that it's the morning.
Yeah.
And she's fine. You're like, not how time works.
Movie magic, you know? So then
before we do this,
you're fired up about it. Go for it.
Yes, because before we do this, there are so many solutions to the problem right now, other than the movie. The rest of the movie doesn't have to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, she could just, like, go back inside. We do find out the door's locked.
She does try. Like, she does try, right?
Wait. Yeah. Like, sit on the doorstep.
Yeah.
Or, like, call a couple people's buzzers. There's like a buzzer thing. Yeah. There's an apartment building. There's so many solutions to the problem. And she picks the worst one.
Just to start walking.
Which is, to where?
Yeah. I guess she was going to follow did she spot the name of the cab, the tow company or something maybe? And but she doesn't know where it is. Like,
no, I don't think she did. I think she's like, where do cars get to? Because remember, she's asking the cabbie. She's like, where do cars get towed to? And he's like,
that's right.
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, she starts just walking. And then this is where, again, from the trailer, she comes across a cab and he pulls a gun on her.
And she's like, I'll give you money. I'll pay you triple. And he's like, no. And then eventually she gets to the point of like, where do they tow to? And he's like, oh, tow to? You're going to tow to? And she's like, yeah, wherever they take your car to tow to, like, that's where I want to go. And he's like,
classic,
get
language misunderstanding going on here, right?
Yeah, so frustrating. So frustrating.
We're in a cab drive, right? Cab ride. Yeah. And still misunderstanding conversation keeps going. And then he drives her to, he talks about the boyfriend, right?
Well, yeah, they do a whole bit about like sex work and stuff too. Like, it's implied that he's like thinking, and she's like, oh, well, I love my work. It gives me self-worth, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, great. I hope it does. Yes. Like, fuck you.
That's a running joke throughout the entire movie, is that everyone thinks that she is a hooker, because that's their words.
Well, their words are crack whore. So
So
we'll get there, listener. But this movie stinks.
That's a continuing running joke, because she's still wearing the yellow dress that Denise had, whatever, and she was out for a night to party, but now it's next morning, so of course everyone thinks that. Yeah,
so they roll up at the strip club called Tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course they do. And she's like, no, this is just a funny miscommunication. I have no money because we're not at my car. We're at the strip club that I don't work at. And he's like, oh, okay, well, if you don't pay me, then I'll just drive you to jail. And she's like, and he's like, and then originally I was like, all right, I'm Team Cabby. This guy is smart. I was like, he was doing her a favor. Like, Cabby is a good guy until now. And then he's like, give me a lap dance and it's fine. $23 and we'll call it even.
4 songs.
Four songs. She's like, what? No, 3 songs. and she's like, no, maybe I can only, I'll do 2, whatever. Cause he's threatening with her gun now.
Yeah.
It gets really out of hand and scary and not appropriate or realistic. And then they agree to 2 songs. Alanis Morissette.
Those are tough songs to, I don't know if that's, so sad. Not what you want. Sad lap dance.
yeah. Not what you want. And then she runs away because then obviously she's not going to do this.
Yeah.
And he's obviously not stoked about that.
And then she's back on the streets, right? Just kind of walking at night, and she thinks someone's chasing her, and she starts running. It just happens to be a guy jogging, and she's like trying to wave him down. He's like, no, leave me alone. And
she's the chaos walking.
Yes.
Not him.
Yeah. And then she's trying to wave down cars, obviously the way this looks, because she's wearing a yellow dress and it's the time.
Right. People think she's a sex worker.
Yes. Again,
she's blaming Denise for the dress in her mind, which I don't think we need to assign blame here, but it is kind of Denise's fault. It's more Rose's fault than anyone.
Yeah. She's really the one who kind of got this going, right? And then she waves down. We cut to the cop car, our cop buddies, right?
Yeah, some actual sex workers are harassing her, and then the cops notice, and that's when we cut over to our friends. And
Yeah,
they're
Bill Burr and Suplee.
Suplee, sure.
What's his first name?
Ethan,
that's right. Ethan Suplee.
Whose character name I did not pick up. Bill Burr's Walter, for sure, but I don't remember what Ethan Suplee's character's name is. Not that it matters.
So we cut to them, and they're kind of chatting, a little bit of humor. Actually, I thought the two of them were pretty funny.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's got a lot of balls to like be an independent contractor out here. These ladies are not going to be stoked about that. And Ethan Suplee is like, all right, well, we have to give her a warning. We have to like, do something about this. And Bill Burr's like, no, we don't. Let's just go home.
Yeah.
But Ethan Suplee convinces him, and they engage. They roll up. They immediately like announce out the car here, do not approach. She starts approaching. They're like, that's the opposite. You're doing the opposite.
What I said.
And then they just immediately start berating her.
Yeah.
And they're like, quit your babbling. And she's like trying to explain the situation. Again, going back to there are 100 solutions here to the problem.
Yeah.
If only someone would be reasonable. Like it's very contrived. Like for the only reason any of this is happening is so that we have a movie to watch.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And like,
agreed.
Sure, you could say that about a lot of movies, but like this is extra. Like they don't do anything to make it feel believable.
Yeah. It all feels forced, and you're just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they tell her
where we're going.
She smells like a distillery, and they're like, next time we see you out here, we're gonna arrest you. Like, stay off my streets.
Yeah.
Stay off his streets. Grow the fuck up. And then they're like, they compliment each other, like veteran play, good work, each other.
Like we do every time we start this thing.
That's true. But we're not cops, and all cops are bastards. So.
No, yeah, and they don't help her. So,
that's right.
And then we cut to the Marsden here. PBRs, love it. They were crushing PBRs.
Yep. Yeah.
Which now makes sense later on when they make fun of her, make fun of him being a hipster, and he's like, I can't grow a beard for that.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense. So he's like, where is she? Cut back to the streets, and
cut back to Carpocalypse, and Chopper Steves is like, guys, it's looking Carpocalypse out there. Today is the day to remind us for the thing from 10 minutes ago that
this is going to be a running thing and show up at the end and be important.
Thanks, Steve, bro.
Yeah. Chopper Steve, we get a little bit of a walking montage of her just walking the streets of LA.
Good soundtrack. I feel like the music in this movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
If we could say one nice thing about it.
And then we cut to Rose's house, Rose's apartment, right?
Yep.
And the guy, the older guy from the club, the motorcycle guy there with the tattoos, whatever, he apparently he stayed over. She
thought that she was picking up his son, apparently.
Yes.
There's some confusion around age. She's on the phone trying to get a hold of Megan, and
he's up sitting in her kitchen eating cereal. Yeah. He's like, I wake up early. She's like, of course you do. You're like 70.
And also, speaking of everyone being way too wasted, the only person in this movie who is like believably had a night like they did is Denise. Everybody else, like Rose, Gordon, Megan, all of them just like walk it off, and they're like, wake up like they're like, oh, like ready to start the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Like, especially because these people are in their 30s, right? Like they kind of establish later.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we'd be dead. Can you imagine?
Yeah. In real life, this movie wouldn't happen for like 3 days because you'd still be hungover.
Yes, exactly.
3 days later, I started finally feeling better.
Yeah. Like Denise, Denise is the only good character in this movie.
Yeah.
Because that's when we cut back to Megan, and she spots a drug dealer on the corner here.
Yeah. Scene from the trailer, right?
Yep. Making a deal. Our friend Skrilla. And exactly from the trailer, he says, don't sneak up on me. No free samples. They're very awkward with each other. I feel like they don't have good chemistry in the scene. I think they do. They develop some better chemistry.
I think so. Later. Yeah, I think later they definitely do. But yeah.
And then she's like, can I borrow your phone? He's like, no. Yeah. And then that's when the police go by. She hides around the corner, and he's like, why are you so worried about the police?
More jokes about her being a sex worker.
Yeah, exactly. And then the actual police do show up, and they start running away from the trailer.
That's all from the trailer, right? And we get all the same jokes, why are you running so fast? She's like, I ran track in high school.
He does call her a yellow ass Terminator, which I thought was pretty funny.
That's pretty good. I'm into that.
And I think that's a good good place to leave our listeners on a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
Where's she going to go? Where's she going? Where are they going to escape to?
Yeah. Where are they running to? Is this her new best friend? Is the Marsden going to get cleaned up? You know, are their friends going to find her? Is Denise going to get her dress back?
Will the movie become even more offensive? Yes.
Yes. Will the same one note joke continue throughout this entire movie? Yes.
I hate it.
But you can find out how it all ends and if all that stuff happens actually. So thanks. Love Actually all around. Thanks for listening. I'll be back Thursday with part 2. So we'll answer all of those questions and more potentially.
Burning questions.
Yeah. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That, or ITMT Pod on Twitter, and wherever you listen to us, Spotify, Google, all the other ones. Subscribe, follow. Whatever it takes. And while you're subscribing or following or whatever it is you're doing, you could also leave us a review, especially on Apple and Spotify. It helps us out. 5 stars, a comment would be nice. The comments, really bump things up, get you ranking up in the old. You can't see right now. I'm doing magic fingers. Yeah, no, you're doing. Apple, those are algorithm fingers. I think you're doing right now. You're right. Algorithm fingers. Yeah. Thank you. Algorithm fingers. So yeah, it'll help us. Do that. Review us, please. You're still doing it. Yeah, of course. Well, I'm talking about the algorithm stuff. Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you can send us an email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. We'll read them in trailer trash like we always do in fan service. Or you can go forget everything I just said. Just go to the website. All the information's there. It's thismeetsthat.com. There's information about me and Russ, episodes, links, stuff. Yeah, stuff and things. Buttons to click, right? Yeah. Looking forward to serving you, listeners, for the foreseeable future. We love you.